Allison. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions about your experience in HBA. But first, I wanted to just hear your perspective on how managing stress and burnout in your life has changed since doing HBA.
It is completely transformed. I used to be super stressed out, lashing out at my husband, my kids, like just very frustrated with life. And being able to complete HBA and know that I have the tools needed in an instant, those lifelines, it completely has transformed everything. I feel like I wake up and I'm not worried about how the day is going to go. Like I know if something comes up and I have to pivot, I can do that. I can be mentally flexible. And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've gotten from taking HBA.
Awesome. That's amazing. What actually motivated you to join HBA? You were actually the first one to hop into round one. You were the very first one that was like, "Yep, I'm all in." And so I'm curious, what caught your interest? What made you join us?
We've worked together in the past and I know like your coaching style and I knew that we had worked well together, but I knew I needed a change. I knew I needed something that didn't focus on macros and lifting. I really needed something that focused on like the neuro side of it. And knowing that you put your heart into everything, I just knew like I had to jump. I knew that this was going to be the program that changed really everything for me. And to be honest, I've been a little sad since the program ended. I'm not getting the daily, text from Coach Kate that I can listen to on the
I've
way to
been
work.
sad too. I've been like,
But
man, I can't wait for round two.
I knew I had to make a change.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was no harm in working with you because I would get something out of it, whether the program worked for me or it didn't. And of course it worked for me because it is a fantastic program.
Thank you. Yeah. Did you find the structure and the layout of the program easy to follow, just given how busy you and everybody else are?
Yeah, so I if I didn't get the text every day, honestly, I probably would have slacked. I think that bringing the way you brought it to us and presented it to us was super easy for me to be able to participate. Someone who doesn't have a lot of social media, like the only social media I have is Instagram. I got rid of Facebook a long time ago. I'm really always skeptical to go in these groups when they're like, oh, like we have a supportive community, and I'm like, oh no, it's another thing I have to keep up with. But I knew getting the text, I knew they were going to be quick, trainings, and that I could listen to them by the time I dropped my kid off and drove to work. And it truly, it really was just life changing. Like I'm so excited for round two.
Me too. Me too. And I know you kind of touched on this a little bit, but how did you feel about the Lifeline feature of the program? Did it save you in many moments? Do you think that it was helpful? Do you feel like you were able to kind of build your own toolbox of relief tools now that you've gone through it?
So I used Lifelines a couple of times throughout. I felt like I think one week I think I texted Lifeline like 5 times in a row just to see all the different lifelines because the first two didn't really do much for me. I just couldn't get into them. I think one of the first ones I ever used, it was like a YouTube recording of like a song, and it literally just like stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, oh my God, I just needed like that's what I needed. I needed 3 minutes to listen to this tune, and
Yeah.
I could get right back to doing what I was doing. So I loved the Lifeline option. Even knowing that they were there, I think I just felt reassured.
hmm Yeah, that's awesome. And then any words, suggestions, advice for someone that is on the fence about doing HBA and just maybe feels like, I don't know, it's not going to help me, or I'm not going to be able to complete it. Any words of wisdom for them?
Yep, take it from someone who spent thousands and thousands of dollars in self-help courses and like this is the program. This is the program. It will change your life if you let it. You need to take the tools and you need to utilize them and you need to put in those mental bumps in the road to stop yourself from spiraling, but just do it. Like you're going to get so much out of it if you just take the bet on yourself and on Coach Kate because it is, I can't even explain it. Like I have changed so much in how I operate daily just from taking HBA.
Awesome.